we have Christian from Manic Market Festival. What's going on today here?
Today is the Manic Market. Try to do them a couple of times a year. Get the community together. Have various different vendors selling jewelry and art, and it's just a good way to kind of get everybody together and keep the creativity going.
Tell us about the theme today you have for Manic Market.
Well, there's a couple of things that we're doing here. We like to grab from a couple different parts of our scene. So we have an art show for Gustavo Martinez, as well as Frenzy from Portland, Oregon has come down to play for us. And we're doing a photo booth benefit and info table for survivors of sexual assault. The idea is to kind of just bring light to some sore subjects that have been happening in our community, and trying to address them in a more appropriate way. It kind of gives us a way for all of us to learn more and to be up to date and knowledgeable about how to handle these situations and or combat them within our scene.
What's the difference between Manic Market and Manic Festival?
Well, Manic Relapse happens yearly, and the market happens.
Manic Relapse.
Yeah, the festival, Manic Relapse Fest, happens yearly and is a bit of a bigger event. But I figure as we grow, it's important that we, can kind of bring things back down to a humble level at some points. And by doing the markets, we're able to do that. It's a little bit. It's there for our immediate scene, as well as again, anybody who wants to travel for it. But we like to invite bands down, and just kind of gives us a way to keep the momentum going.
How do the bands get involved with playing these events and festivals?
Generally, I think that we're all friends. We have a big worldwide collective of punk rockers that and artists that we've communicated over the years or built relationships in various different ways, and I feel like that doors are always opening in those regards, because as I travel or as people travel here, we're constantly building these relationships. So anybody that's involved in Manic is either a friend or a part of our chosen family.
Also, you play in the band for Korrosive. Don't you have a new album coming out?
Yeah, we recorded earlier this year, and towards the end of last year and the beginning of this year, we finished up a new record. It's going to be 8 songs on Agipunk out of Italy. It's kind of been a rough year, I think, for all of us, and even at this point. So we're moving a little bit slow, but it will be here hopefully by the end of 2018, and we'll be playing on that record again next year.
And you also traveled to different countries before, and you're doing it again. What's the scene like in other places?
I think that's probably my favorite thing about traveling with a band, is getting to learn about the scene outside of our own, and sometimes even taking some of those ideas and bringing them back with us, and learning how to better, for instance, Europe is really good at really good at hospitality and taking care of bands, and I think it's important to learn that and try to bring it back here, and feed people, make sure people have places to sleep, and I really like going to even countries, developing countries and stuff, and seeing their punk scene, because I feel like they have a lot to offer. They have a lot to say, and they have a lot of energy, and even at sometimes a lot of anger. And I think that it's really cool to just travel and see how different everybody is and how diverse everybody is, but at the same time, we're all connected within punk rock.
If somebody said, hey, how's the Northern California scene like the East Bay, how would you describe the scene up here?
As you can see, I think it's thriving. I think we have a lot of really talented people here. We have so many good bands, we have good artists, people that are really trying to make a difference. And the city is not always easy to live in, whether it's street violence or the gentrification and like, you know, the constant battling of like trying to stay afloat in the city. I think that everybody here has done a really good job at being creative enough to survive and, you know, in this economy. And I think that the Manic Market's a good example of that, because everybody here is making their own way.
On the last Relapse festival, how much crowd do you think was there about?
Manic Relapse this last year was maybe one of our bigger years. People came from all over the world. I don't know, it's really hard to say because there's so many shows happening and people attend some and don't attend others, but I think at the peak there was probably close to 1,000 people collectively throughout the weekend. I'm not really sure, but it was a little overwhelming at times, especially in a small venue like Eli's Mile High Club. But I think it all worked out, and I'm happy and looking forward to doing it again next year.
Any good news or surprise for next year?
That's the question everybody's asking, huh? I think that I'll have to keep that one in my pocket for now.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Good luck in the Europe tour, because you're going to Europe
Jay
next
Lee.
week.
Always a pleasure to see you, and thank you for asking me questions.
Before you go, how many bands are you playing? Because you're going to Europe next week.
Well, currently I'm only in Korrosive. That's the only semi-active band right now. But I am filling in for Monster Squad, just for a European tour, because their guitar player is, you know, busy raising his family. So he asked me to step in, and I'm more than happy to do so.
Cool. Good luck on the tour.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.